In this lesson we're going to look at what logarithms are. Now I've said here that logarithms are powers, and they are. Logarithms, the answer to a logarithm question is a power, and this is something we must get used to. 5 to the power n equals 125. We've been asking earlier, what is n? Or 2 to the power n equals 256. What is n? We can rewrite this in a different way, and that's called a logarithm. And we're going to look at that in the next slide. Before we do that, quickly, just to show you what a logarithm is, or a logarithmic graph, it's the inverse exponential graph, really. We have looked at this before in Unit 1. The exponential function goes up like this, a growth function. If we reflect this in the line y equals x, we get the logarithmic graph. It always goes through 1, 0, sorry, instead of 0, 1, and then you've got the base and 1 instead of 1 in the base. In this slide here we can see it being reflected exactly in y equals x. Okay, so what is logarithmic form? Well, I described earlier, instead of writing 2 to the power n equals 8, what is n? This can be written like this. And we need to be confident in using this type of notation. What this means is 2 to the power what makes 8? And the answer to this, of course, if you think about it, or you should know that 2 cubed is 8. 2 times 2 times 2. So the answer to this is 3, which is the power you raise 2 to get an answer of 8. Again, if you look at it over here, it looks a bit easier. 2 to the power 3 equals 8. But we must get familiar with this notation. So before we go any further, we're going to practice that, how to write this in logarithmic form. The way I do this, I think of the base as a small number at the bottom of the log. So log, you put your wee 5, it's like a subscript. And the answer is the power, so you get a 3 there. And then your 125 goes there. So 5 to the power of 3 makes 125. The other thing is, how do we say this? We say it as log 125 to the base 5. That's how that is said properly. So the same idea with this one. 5 is the power, so 5 is the answer to this. The base is 3 here, so that's a small number next to log, and then the 243. So basically what we're saying here is 3 to the power of 5 is equal to 243. Over here the power is 8, that's your answer. 2 is your base, so it's going to be log and a 2, and then your 256. So log of 256 to the base 2 is equal to 8. Okay, moving down to these ones. The power is your answer, so that's going to be a 4. 6 is your base, so log and a 6, and then you're going to have an x here. Same idea, 0 is your answer. Your base is 14, so log and then a wee 14, and you're going to have your 1 here. So 14 to the power 0 is 1. Now to generate a number here, basically we can use a variety of logs. This is the answer to it, so the answer is 3, we have to make a log that comes to 3. I have picked log 8 to the base 2 because 2 to the power 3 equals 8. However, you could have picked log 125 to the base 5, and there's other ones as well. Now just to finish this lesson off, we need to be able to convert logarithmic form into exponential form. If you look at that up here, then the answer is the power. This is your base, which you write here, and then this number goes here. So if we look at this first one, y is your base, so we'd have a y first. The answer is your power, and that equals 4. In this case, n is your base, and then we've got 6m is your power. The answer to this is your power, and that equals 9. In this one, p is your base, and that's your power, and that comes to q. Okay, so let's just find some answers to these 3 questions here. Basically, what is log 8 to the base 2? What power do you raise 2 to get an answer of 8? And that's 3, so 2 cubed is 8. Log 240 to the base 3, 3 to the power of what is equal to 243. Now 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. You times that by 3, you get 81, so that's 3 to the power 4, so it's 5. 3 to the power 5 is 243. Okay, the easiest way to think of this last one is what power do you raise 4 to get 64? And that would be power 3, 4 cubed is 64. I need a 1 over that, so it's really 4 to the negative 3, so the answer is negative 3 here.